back to the Yanks. We have another Yanks talking Canada soccer and U.S. soccer. Today we're going to be talking about the U.S. versus Japan game that just finished up this morning. Friendly matchup preparation for the World Cup 2022 in Qatar, and it ended 2-0. 2-0 Japan. Congratulations. This one was just tip your hat to Japan. They were just better in every single way than the USA. I mean, the USA this morning, I don't know what it was, but it was the midfield, especially, was lackluster. There were just too many turnovers, and it costed the USA a 2-0 defeat. Of course, one of those goals, which is nothing you can do about it, but the other one, the first goal that happened, I mean, that was just a giveaway, and Japan capitalized. And before I even get into the details, before I even probably go on a rant and tangents and stuff, or just observations, let's just go over the starting lineup of what was played today. So we had Matt Turner in net, Serginho Dest, Walker Zimmerman, Tyler Adams, Aaron Long, Sam Vines, Weston McKennie, Jesus Ferreira, Brendan Aronson, Luca De La Torre, and Gio Reyna. Yes, there is no Christian Pulisic for this match, but it was expected that he will miss this one, but he might be expected against the next one. But that was horrible. But let's just talk about this. Let's show how they played the lineup. So they played a 4-3-3, the standard lineup that I always do when I put my FIFA stuff in. But yeah, you can even see how the players lined up. And I'm going to start doing this because I finally got the MLS app on my phone now, which I can get live scores and stuff. So instead of getting stats from Google, I'll just take stats from MLS. So from here on out, stats should be provided by MLS instead of Google, which is good because sometimes Google does not relay all the stats. But yeah, so today's stats and further in the next video and any other video to further notice will be provided by MLS stats. But this is how they lined up. You can even see Luca De La Torre. I mean, this looks like a strong midfield, but Japan was stronger, I guess. So, but you can even see the bench players, some of them, but I'm not going to get into that. I am, however, going to talk about the two goals that were scored in this one. And this all starts in the 24th minute. Japan seeks to capitalize off of a U.S. mistake in the midfield, and they just quickly counterattack, and the defense is off guard, and they're not ready for it. Walker Zimmerman he's in no man's land, and the Japanese defender, or the Japanese attacker, is like, hey, pass it here, I'm open. Yes, he gets his way, makes it, and yes, there is an offsides check, and there is a VAR in this match, but I could care less, honestly. What matters more is that Japan scored a very, very easy goal, and the U.S. defense and mid was just, first the midfield gave it away, and then the defense just wasn't ready. And then, I mean, then you got to credit the Japanese attack and their ball movement. I mean, when they had the ball, they moved with a purpose. Rather, when the U.S. had the ball, we kind of moved with purpose, but we didn't even, you even see in the stats, they even get a shot on target. I mean, that can't happen going in the World Cup, which is why, I mean, yes, this is why I'm disappointed, but I'm not mad that this loss happened because, I mean, yes, I'm kind of happy that this exposed and kind of brought out the weak points against strong opponents, especially. But I'm also just happy. I mean, just get it out, before it builds up in the World Cup, before those same mistakes happen against Iran, England, or Wales. Get it out now. That way we can work on that for the next 2 months or so, and then come back hopefully more prepared for the World Cup. But this is why these two friendlies, I'm not really. I know, yes, they don't mean anything, but in terms of like the grand scheme of things, it's preparation for Qatar, and this first game was pretty poor. It was disappointing to say the least. But yeah, that first goal, which is Japan. I mean, it was all the U.S. giveaway. I mean, there were so many giveaways in this game where basically they could have had an event out of it. Free giveaways. And the U.S. midfield just kept giving the ball to Japan. Japan was like, oh, for us? Yeah, we'll take it. And when they did have it, as I said, they moved with a purpose. And at least they kept testing Matt Turner over and over. Matt Turner has faced so many shots in this game. While the Japanese goalie didn't even face a single shot on target. Unacceptable, but fine. I mean, it's the first game. And yes, you don't have Pulisic. But still, with these caliber players, I mean, at least be competitive. At least don't give the ball away. I mean, yes, they're young. Yes, the first time they're going against really, really, or not really first time even then, but because Japan, they're good, but the U.S. has played Uruguay, they've played Mexico, but Japan, yes, this is a new test for them. But uh, I kind of don't want to keep making excuses with the whole yes, they're young, yes, they've still got a lot to learn, but it is a little bit of that. But at the same time, they most of these guys have played together way too much already or way too a lot of times already to kind of understand each other already and kind of get a feel on how everybody plays and playing style and chemistry. So we can only that's one of those, if we are going to make that excuse or reasoning for why they played so poor today because they're young and inexperienced still, then I mean yes, but at some point we can just know we can only make that excuse for so long. At some point, there's gonna they've got to start getting better. I mean, yes, it's not going to happen for this World Cup, but it's only going to happen. It's going to take years to build. But at the same time, using youth to play poorly or against quality opponents is not a valid excuse. And because the U.S. has definitely played better games, especially one against Uruguay, which was a much tougher opponent. Japan, as I said, was good, but Uruguay, I mean, I've seen the U.S. arguably played a little bit better, maybe even perhaps a lot better in that game than they did today, because the midfield just kept pissing the ball away. The defense, I mean, they tried their best, but the first goal I really just fault them for. The second goal, which I need to even talk about, 88th minute, Matoma with just a beautiful strike. He just runs down into the defense and he curves it around Turner, and that's nothing you can do about it. Which is why I said I'm not gonna get pissed about that. That's just a tip your hat to that shot. Really, really good. And that was a dagger, 2-0. And I don't blame Turner for that one. I mean, honestly, should Turner be blamed for the first goal either? Probably not, but I don't know. I just know, yes, Japan scored 2 goals. Matoma with that beautiful strike, but that's nothing you can do about it. I don't fault anybody for that. I mean, I think the defense tried their best, but Japan was just better. They were just better. That's the second goal. And then the match ends is 2-0, 2-0 to Japan. And we're going to go over the stats here, once again provided by MLS. Look at this. Look at the stats. Just look at them. 16 shots to 4 for Japan. The U.S. only had 4 shots. And get this, 8 of those for Japan, 50% of those shots were on target. While not a single shot for the USA was on target. 0. Settle. Unacceptable. They got to do better. Possession-wise, USA had 57% possession. Japan had 43% possession. Yes, they had possession, but as I said, when Japan had the ball, they moved with a purpose, and they punished the USA. They tested Matt Turner. USA, yes, 57% possession, had 4 shots, none of which go on target. That's all I got to say about those, but chances created. 2-1. That's a new stat for MLS. You can thank them for that. But USA had 1 chance created the whole entire game. Japan had 2 chances created, and they capitalized on both of them. So that's pretty much what that says right there. 8 corners to 2 for Japan. 16 fouls to 3. Japan was scrappy, but I mean, I don't know. Did I get into the U.S. midfield's head? Was that why we kept pissing the ball away? I don't know. Even then, we played scrappy opponents before. El Salvador, Mexico, Canada to an extent. They played a lot of CONCACAF scrappy opponents. So Japan playing scrappy and just getting in there, that's not an excuse either to why the midfield should have kept pissing the ball away. Japan had no offsides for the USA at 2. No yellow card for Japan to 1 for the USA, and no red cards were given in this match. But as I said, the stats just do it justice. I mean, it's basically, as I said, it just sums up what I said already. When Japan had the ball, they moved with a purpose. And when the U.S. midfield had the ball, yes, they passed it around. Yes, but they didn't test the Japanese keeper at all. And 2, especially earlier in the game, they just kept pissing the ball away. And Japan was like, yes, a gift. And they punished the USA for that 1 gift. And they kept getting chance after chance after chance because the USA kept pissing the ball away. I mean, that's plain as I can say about what happened why the USA looked terrible this game. Or as in Charles Barkley's terms, terrible. Yes, the USA was terrible today. I mean, especially the midfield, the strikers even barely even touched the ball. I mean, this was just horrible. Japan just clamped down the USA, just clamp mode. You couldn't even get past them. Unbelievable. I mean, yes, I said yes. Japan's a new opponent for the USA. I don't know what you can really say about the field conditions. Yes, I mean I heard some people saying it's a little bit rough, but an uncut grass. But I don't care. I mean, we played in El Salvador. If we're gonna use the pitch as a bad excuse, we played in El Salvador on a muddy cow pasture and somehow found a way to come back and scrap for a tie. But if we're gonna use the grass or the field conditions of this one, which I hope are not, then that's just unacceptable. But at the end of the day, the fields in Qatar are what they are, and we just got the USA has to come out and play their best game. They every single game, and this game, I mean, yes, this is why I'm good. I'm glad they honestly this came out. They got exposed today because if they didn't get exposed today, if we didn't play these two friendlies at all and just went into the World Cup, if we didn't play any friendly games, which I doubt that would have happened anyway, but if we didn't play any, or we played like easy opponents and opponents that weren't gonna expose and test the USA and expose problems like that, then yeah, we would have taken out of this international friendly cup window. But I'm just glad. I mean, hey, I'm just glad that we now know, hopefully, how bad that was, how poor that was. The midfield just I mean, when they had the ball, they didn't move with a purpose. That's the sum of the game. Japan moved with a purpose. They didn't turn the ball over, or when they did, I mean, they were quick to get back on defense and make it hard for the USA to break them down. And then when the U.S. midfield had the ball, they just kept pissing the ball away and didn't move with purpose. That's all. That's the 2 points right there that sums up this game. I mean, going into Saudi Arabia, now this is going to be hopefully more of a test against like an Iranian opponent or something like that. Uh, the midfield needs to be cleaned up. We got to do better. We got to move with the purpose. I want to see next game. I want to see them move with a purpose, not piss the ball away as much, because that really exposed where I thought what kind of a similar to we had back in 2021. Turnovers, transitions, defending in transitions. Japan it rears its ugly head, and it did it this game. It reared its ugly head again with the first goal. Japan just beautiful. It took advantage of that counterattack and just moved the ball too quickly for the USA defense to get back. As I said, Walker Zimmerman was caught in no man's land. They thought it was offsides. No, I mean I knew that was onside. I mean, honestly, do we even need a VAR check for that? He was onside. But yeah, offside. I mean, no, because that wouldn't matter anyway. Because the 88th minute goal was just a phenomenal strike. And as I said, I don't fault Turner. I don't know. I mean, can I really fault the U.S. defense for that either? I mean, yes, they let him run inside and just contain. They play token defense, but he just got the strike off and he just beat Turner. I mean, that's just a beautiful shot right there. So I'm not pissed at that goal. But if I am going to be pissed at the goal, it's the first one because that was preventable. Just don't piss the ball over. And then Walker Zimmerman was just caught out in no man's land. And it bit them in the ass. And it hurt. That's pretty much, this sums up the game. But next game against Saudi Arabia, it better be better. But the midfield, basically, the story of the game, got to move with a purpose. Especially when against quality World Cup opponents like Japan. Wales, England, Iran, they're all going to be looking to move with the purpose, and the midfield ball is going to be able to move with the purpose. And if the USA does not move, if they play the same way as they did today in the World Cup, they're not getting out. Perhaps they might finish bottom of the group if they play like that. So that's why I'm really glad they got exposed this game. That way we can know what to work on, and come September 27th when they play Saudi Arabia, hopefully things can improve. And even in this next 2 months, or I don't know, like whatever training sessions are left, training camps, work on those, identify the weak spots, and just get better. Because this game today was unacceptable. It was terrible. Pretty much all I got to say about that. But if you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, tell your friends about it. There's a Canadian video versus Qatar coming up around maybe later today. But also hit the bell notification that when any video is uploaded or posted. And tell your friends, you gotta move the ball with a purpose.